So usually when I start off these videos, I'll have some sort of backstory or context, or I'll have a monologue, but this next clip that I'm about to show you needs no introduction. HUD Secretary Ben Carson testified before the House Financial Services Committee, and this happened.
I'd also like you to get back to me, if you don't mind, to explain the disparity in REO rates. Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
Organization?
Owned. Real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO. And FHA loans have much higher REOs. That is, they go to foreclosure rather than to loss mitigation or to non-foreclosure alternatives like short sales than comparable loans at the GSEs. So I'd like to know why we're having more foreclosures that end in people losing their homes with stains to their credit and disruption to their communities and their neighborhoods at FHA than we are at the GSEs.
I would be extremely happy if you'd like to have you work with the people who do that.
Well, Mr. Carson, respectfully, that was my day job before I came to Congress. So now it's my job to ask you to work with the people.
I'm talking about the people at HUD who do that.
I've spent a decade working with the people at HUD on this problem. So what I would like you to do is to take this back to FHA and to ask the folks at FHA, because since 2007, I have been writing about the problems in FHA's servicing. I am a huge fan of FHA. I am a believer in their mission, and I am a champion for them. Are you?
Of course, I believe in the mission of FHA.
What? Of course, I believe in the mission of FHA. What's going on here? This is one of the people, and really the type of person who's leading the country. I honestly don't know what to say about that. It's just pure cringe. That's all it is. There's no additional context or commentary that you need. It tells you everything you need to know about the people in power. And it's not like Ben Carson is an imbecile, right? This is a literal brain surgeon. He's a world-renowned brain surgeon. So this should be easy. He's been HUD secretary now for quite some time. You'd think he'd have a grasp of these types of acronyms and terms, but he literally said Oreo. Why would you think she's talking about an Oreo? What? Even if you didn't hear her, just say, can you repeat that? Or, if you think she said Oreo, just take a fraction of a second to let that marinate and realize, okay, she's probably not asking me if I know about Oreos. Ben.
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
Organization?
Owned. Real estate owned.
What a fucking dumbass, Ben. Why did you decide to get into politics? This is evidence that you can be really good at one thing, like you can be a genius or an expert at one thing, but in a different sphere, you're just a complete and utter moron. He's in over his head. Like, at this point, how do you not resign due to embarrassment? Because what you're showing the American people is that you're not educated about this issue, but more importantly, if you were appointed to this position and, it was a little bit overwhelming at first, I would expect you to put in the time, put in the due diligence to learn the ins and outs, to be able to answer a question that's very basic. Something that the HUD secretary of all people should be able to answer. You don't need to be able to, refer to someone else in HUD. You should be able to answer this question. You're the HUD secretary. I mean, do you know so little that you can't even bullshit something? If you really know that little, then as someone who's in a really important and powerful position, you need to resign, Ben. I'm not, deluded enough to think that we'd get someone better than Ben Carson, but this is next level cringe. It's next level embarrassing. And really, if I were Trump, well, I wouldn't ask him to resign because I've said dumber things if I'm Trump. So, yeah, I guess we'll leave that there because there's no point in anything. Everything in 2019 America is so utterly idiotic that it's breaking me. It's breaking my brain.
Mike is a total loser, so don't hit the subscribe button, okay? And whatever you do, folks, do not hit the notification bell either. Mike treats me so unfairly.